Actually, after Graham, I've been called for so many roles of people in the forces, whether it's the police or the army or the air force or anything.
Zeenat and I have written Shaadi Ke Side Effects and Hindi medium together.
Friday को opening क्या होगी, weekend क्या होगा, गाना डाल देते हैं. ये actor, बिकेगा कि नहीं बिकेगा. Now you think about who's right for the part.
I've always had the opportunity of working with great actors. My films have never been the traditional Bollywood blockbuster films.
I think everybody from every section of society is exposed to content from across the world now. It's not only Indian content, but you're watching Spanish content, you're watching something from Brazil, you're watching something from Japan, Korea.
Opening yourself up, because that is how people will relate to something that you're trying to say. So I think you have to just be open and willing to be vulnerable.
Saket, Kunal and Zoya, welcome on Hungama.
Thank you so much, Faridoon.
Saket, tell us something. I think you're collaborating with the same writer with whom you collaborated for Hindi medium, from what I understand.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So tell us something about what was the idea behind your story in Ankahi Kahaniya.
So as you know, Faridoon, we're sort of commercial film directors, and Zeenat and I have written Shaadi Ke Side Effects and Hindi medium together. And there was a very nice, pleasant surprise for us when Ashit Dua, the producer, came and said, I'm doing this anthology. And Saket Chaudhary and Ashwini Iyer are the other directors who are all wonderful directors whose films I admire. And we're doing an anthology, and we would like you to do it. And I was, I've been watching anthologies, and I always wondered what goes into doing one of them. So here she asked us to do an anthology on love. And relationships have always fascinated me. But because we're feature film directors, we didn't have a half an hour, 40-minute script. So we went back and I spoke to Zeenat, and we started talking about what could we do about a relationship or a love story that was new. And we started talking about what happens after love, when the boy has gotten the girl, and the boy and the girl have to live in the same house together, and they start discovering that what they imagined each other to be is not the real boy and girl. What happens after that? And that's when we started sort of exploring the issues that come up in relationships, especially marriage. And like Zoya says in the story, that infidelity is the reality of modern marriage. So we started exploring the idea of infidelity and what happens when two people whose spouses are having an affair with each other sort of meet and start talking about their spouse's affair. And that's how the story sort of grew into what this is.
Okay, and you're having two stars who are literally basking in the glory right now, because both of them, they've had a very successful series each. Kunal is just part of Empire, which is getting great response not only from India but all across the world. And Zoya has been part of Graham, which has elicited a lot of interest and curiosity and controversy, which is always a sign that it is being watched, which is, I think, is an important point as well. So does it make you happy as a director that the curiosity will be a lot more in Ankahi Kahaniya as far as your story is concerned?
Absolutely. I mean, but I'm also very happy for both Kunal and Zoya, because I'd love to say that, in the course of making this film, they're not just my actors, but they've also become my friends, and I believe both of them are tremendously talented actors. And I think the success was long overdue.
Success was long overdue.
I'm so excited that I'll see them in so many more things now, and I just feel great for them.
It's just so interesting, Kunal, that Zoya is still, I think, like a newcomer. It's been around 3 years that Mukkabaz came, from what I remember. And you've been around for some time, but it seems like the way you're looking in the Empire, for example, it seems like this is a rebirth, or it's like a new version, or like a younger brother of Kunal Kapoor. No, seriously.
Well, that's good to hear. That's always good to hear. I don't know what to say. I mean, that's good to hear in the sense that, I meet a lot of directors, and what they always tell me is that what's really good about why we would be interested in working with you is, besides the fact of, what we think about how you are as an actor, is that we've not seen enough of you. And we feel like there's so much more that we can do with you. And I think that's always a good place to be if, directors find you interesting and feel like there's a side of you that hasn't been explored. I think that's an interesting place to be in.
That's an interesting place to be in. All right, okay. And Zoya, tell us this interest that is there in you right now. You got a great response for Graham, from what I understand, and now this one is coming out. You, from what I understand, you like letting your mind do the talking in more ways than one.
Honestly, nothing has been like a planned out or purposely done thing. It's just whatever from the things that have come to me, whatever has interested me, whatever I feel like I can add something to, whatever I feel will be good for me also. I've just done those projects. I've been lucky that so far everything I've done have truly been with directors that I've really respected their work previously also. And after working with them, hopefully we will have amazing long-standing friendships and equations as well. So I don't know. I feel really grateful actually that at a time when people weren't working, I will have 4 releases this year. So I honestly just feel really happy and grateful because it was all held up and now everything is coming out. So
everything is coming together. And I think it's a great time for actors per se, because the way OTT gives you this platform and doesn't bring this caste system into play, that ye hero hai, ye heroine hai, and ye supporting star cast hai, and so I think that's beautiful right now. What do you say, Kunal? I think you experienced it right now. You're plastered all over the country. Your hoardings are plastered all over the country right now. And
right.
You're coming up with Ankahi Kahaniya now, right after the Empire, and there is curiosity.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing time as actors and creative people. It's the democratization of talent, actually, because earlier you had to think about things like Friday ko opening kya hogi, weekend kya hoga, gana dal dete hain, ye actor bikega ke nahi bikega. Now you think about who's right for the part, and like you said, we are plastered all over the city, which means that the platform has gone all out to promote the show because they believe they've got the right actors for the part, not because they are like, iski market kya hai. And I think that makes it all very exciting for actors like me and Zoya, and also I'm sure creative people like Saket, because it gives us a chance to experiment, try new things, tell new stories, and not worry about what is going to happen on Friday, and is the audience going to come in big numbers or not, and should we put an item song and dilute the film. All that is something that you don't have to worry about, and that's I think the best thing that can happen to a creative person. That liberation, that feeling of freedom, I think is great.
What I've heard that people are rewatching The Empire again and again because of your scenes where you're not having anything on top. So I think there is an item over there as well. Okay, now Saket, so Kunal is talking about democratization of content. What are your views on this? Because say you did Hindi medium, you did not do English medium. Apparently, you did not even watch English medium.
I did watch it.
You did watch it. Apparently, you were not invited for the premiere or something like that. That's what That's okay. No, that's okay. That's okay. So, no, what I'm trying to say is that, say in films, what makers, what they have to grapple with apart from the script and the actors, are these conventions as well, and then the fact that you have to maybe please a lot of people, and many a times the stars they're given more importance than the director and writer ki to khair koi kuch nahi karta hai, which is unfortunate. But in many ways, OTT, I think, is giving a lot of importance to makers, to writers, and ultimately it is the writing that really gets you the reach and the longevity in more ways than one. So do you find that exciting as a filmmaker?
Absolutely. But with me, I've always had the opportunity of working with great actors. My films have never been the traditional Bollywood blockbuster films. It's always been with great actors, with new ideas, new subjects. So I've been fortunate. But with OTT, what you feel is, you're not, there's no sword of the weekend hanging on you. The sword, it's not about just this Friday. With Netflix, if you didn't watch it this Friday, maybe you'll watch it next Friday. And if you didn't watch it the next Friday, maybe you'll watch it a couple of Fridays later. So your film, your story is constantly being reinvented it's constantly being premiered, and in different forms, in different parts of the world, it's being consumed in different ways. So that is extremely exciting, and that's extremely liberating.
Yes, and definitely there is no time bound. So if Money Heist is coming, you can start it right at 12 o'clock in the midnight.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so Zoya, there are times when people say that we are done to death as far as love stories are concerned. What more can you bring to the table as far as romance is concerned, or like maybe romantic relationship is concerned, or love is concerned? Now, from what it seems like from the trailer, the way you guys are exploring a certain side of relationships, and maybe that real element and honesty is coming through. As an actor, is it important for you to have this hunger to do something different when it comes to maybe even love story, for example?
I think as far as love stories are concerned, they've always been topsy-turvy. Okay, they're not this boy meet girl and live happily ever after. We've just now started to show them the way that they really are. And in all relationships, there's so many permutations and combinations just because of the personalities of the two people involved. So the nature of the relationship just becomes its own thing. And then with life experience and all that too, it's a nice ride, So abhi to humne shuru kiya hai dikhana. So I think that there's so many things, there's so many interesting things because it's so specific to those relationships. So I think as an actor, you have to just be open to receiving from the director, from the writers, open to being vulnerable, to looking, when I say looking bad, I don't mean actually looking bad, maybe that also, but just not being afraid of just taking that leap and just opening yourself up, because that is how people will relate to something that you're trying to say. So I think you have to just be open and willing to be vulnerable.
All right. Okay. Now it's not maybe like a regular love story. It's taking a different angle, looking at a different angle as far as love is concerned. Now, Kunal, coming back to OTT once again, many a times आपने भी शायद सुना होगा कि शायद ये ऑडियंस को समझ में नहीं आएगा, सिंप्लीफाइड रखो, एंड ऐसा होना चाहिए कि ये यहाँ पर निजाम में ये शायद पसंद नहीं करें, ये आप शायद सीपी बरार में शायद ये जो है ये थोड़ा सा लोगों के ऊपर से निकल जाएगा, कीप इट सिंप्लीफाइड. सो एक सिंप्लीफाइड को जो है वो बहुत बार वो डम्पिफिकेशन भी हो जाता है चीजों का, एंड उसकी वजह से बहुत बार जो कंटेंट है वो उतना वो ड्यूरेबल नहीं हो पा रहा है जिस तरीके से मे बी certain films the way they are being made in South, for example, the way they are not compromising as far as the content is concerned. Do you feel in a way there are more experimentations happening as far as OTT is concerned? People are willing to take risks. People are not considering the audience stupid, and it is being justified by the fact that people are watching all sorts of content and supposedly intricate content as well.
Yeah, I think the viewing habits have changed dramatically now, especially in the last 2 years. I think everybody from every section of society is exposed to content from across the world now. It's not only Indian content, but you're watching Spanish content, you're watching something from Brazil, you're watching something from Japan, Korea. So you're constantly exposed to new and different stories. And I think that whole idea of let's make it palatable for all the audience has changed in a big way, because audiences are now expecting so much more. And I was just talking about the fact that, soon theaters will open and people will go back to theaters. But the question is, will people accept the stories that they accepted 3 years back? Because they've watched so much content from across the world that they might not enjoy the regular content that people are going to give them now. So are your masala movies, are your movies with the item songs, the things that we take for granted, are those going to be appealing for people? I don't think so. I think people will only go to theaters if you're going to offer them something very, very special now, because they're exposed to so much great cinema, so many great shows from across the world now.
Right. And I'm coming back to the Empire again and again, but I think it's so fresh that I can't help but not talk about it. But, apart from the story, apart from the writing and the acting, I think what is also coming across on OTT is the production design. Jis tarike se aapke jo shot taking hai, for example, the camera work, the way it is in Empire, for example, or maybe the action, it is really classy. Maybe even films mein bhi shayad hum log ne us tarike ka nahi dekha ho. And when you are making like a series, so it is extended period. It's not maybe like for 2 hours. That is. So do you find that is also getting its due in a way, that people are worrying about the production design and spending on it and making sure that it's looking as classy as possible. Because जैसे आपने कहा, चाहे वो Spanish हो या फिर और content, like for example Money Heist का जो production design है, I think maybe Hollywood की फिल्मों से भी मतलब बड़े level पे है इस तरीके के उनके action sequence.
Right.
So this is something which is really new and exciting. And जैसे आपके जो action sequences Empire में, they are like a character in itself. The way the horses are moving, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it also has to do with budgets. I think the budgets are becoming bigger on OTT now. You're getting much bigger budgets than you were getting earlier. And the other thing, of course, is with the Empire, I never felt like I was shooting a show. I felt like I was shooting a big film, because that's exactly how the directors and filmmakers treated it. It was never treated like a small, like let's do a show. It's treated like let's do something really exciting. And I always felt like I was on a big set. And like you're saying is that, we have to up the game now, because we are being, audiences are watching stuff from everywhere in the world. And, like you're saying, great production design, great cinematography, great talent, acting, direction, all that. So you're not competing with only Indian films. You're competing with films across the world now. And like you're saying rightly, I mean, I've been watching so much of South Indian cinema, the movies that are coming from the South. And they're incredible stories, and they're doing such beautiful work. So I think we really have to sort of up the game now and buckle up. Otherwise, we will be left behind.
No, absolutely. I'm watching the second season of this Icelandic show, Trapped, right now, and it is incredible. The language is not a barrier, and the way it is, the camera work and even the storytelling, the way it is outstanding. So. It's incredible. I think it's absolutely incredible what is happening. So, Saket, what are your views? How do you see the future? As Kunal is saying, the cinema halls they're opening up, but they will open up at some point of time. So, what according to you can be the future in terms of cinema halls? What sort of films can possibly come in cinema halls? What is it that OTT can offer per se?
I think the future is both that we'll have to match up to international standards when it comes to production design, the skill of writing, the skill of acting, cinematography. But also what we'll have to do is we'll have to be incredibly original and unique. Because earlier what used to happen is because people used to not have access, so you could be referential to material which nobody else has seen and pass it off as your own. Now that's not going to happen. People are going to be very quickly pick up and say, "Ye to maine wahan dekha, ye maine wahan dekha." So I think the future lies in being incredibly original and incredibly precise in the way you execute your original material.
No, absolutely. I saw when you see House of Cards and you realize that where exactly we are ripping off blatantly, and it's not cool. It's not cool at all. Okay, so Zoya, what sort of offers have been coming your way? And are you enjoying this phase? The fact that you're being, maybe, from what I'm assuming, approached for playing characters instead of the layers of makeup, maybe, or whether you're having a song or not. Are you enjoying this phase? Is this something that you had always wanted?
It is something that I always wanted, and I worked really hard. So I truly feel grateful that it is turning out well. Hopefully it continues to. I think actually from the time of Mukabbaz only, I think because of the kind of character that it was, I think by default people just saw me in that way of ye to aise picture hai karegi, or she's a strong girl, or something like that. But that's a good place to be. So I think that set the tone for it. And whatever work I've gotten is because of the previous work that I've done. People see me in something and then they take me, because it's not like I'm so out there or, have any connection to anything or anyone. So I feel really grateful. And the kinds of offers, actually after Graham, I've been called for so many roles of people in the forces, whether it's the police or the army or the air force or anything. So wo bahut ho raha hai, but it's also a mix of, I think a really good thing that happened because it was on an online platform is that the viewership it got was insane. I don't think anybody has seen anything else I have done before as much as Graham. So I think a lot more people just saw me in general. And a lot of people have reached out and been really kind. So it's a mix. The offers are a mix of more of the same thing and lots more of the same thing, and just different people that didn't even know I exist before it.
That's wonderful. So what sort of shows do you like to watch? Do you like to read?
everything. I actually also have been watching, like I saw Trapped, so that's why I was smiling when you were talking about
It's
it.
very, very nice.
But I'm really dying to see Empire as well. Also because Kunal is in it, and it.
My God, ये तो इसी वजह से तो love story में डरा है. इसी वजह से तो love story में डरा है. Okay, आपने देखी okay. Yeah, I think you should say.
And a mix of things like comedy, like lighthearted things also, and like intense, like with strange things also.
Okay, and Kunal, what is it that you are being offered right now? How have things changed post the release of Empire? What sort of messages are you getting?
Well, it has actually, and surprisingly, it's amazing how quickly things change. I was just telling Saket earlier today that people that didn't think that I was right for the part a few weeks back now think that I am. And, my agency is getting calls saying, would Kunal be interested? So things change really quickly here. And thankfully, they're changing for the better. Some interesting work is being offered. I've heard a couple of scripts that I've liked. And hopefully there will be some announcements soon and some exciting work coming up.
All right. And Saket, what about you? What are you doing next?
I've written a couple of scripts. Some are at the casting stage. Some hopefully will go on the floor soon. So maybe something exciting will come out next year. Fingers crossed. Okay.
And do you think filmmakers should indulge in self-censorship?
They shouldn't, but they are forced to. And I don't know how we're going to escape that now.
All right. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Kunal. Thank you, Zoya. And thank you very much, Saket.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
All the best wishes. And I hope that your story is received very well. Thank you very much. And congratulations to all of you. You richly deserve.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much.